Hi, my name is Randy, and I'm a music instructor at Able Artswork. This is part 2 of our video series, How to Produce a Pop Song. In the last video, we worked on chords and the arrangement of our song. In this video, we're going to add drums. Materials you will need are a computer or tablet with a digital audio workstation such as Garageband. I'll be using Ableton Live for this video. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is our arrangement, which changed a little bit. And as I said in our last video, this can happen. It's your song. You can change the arrangement of it at any point if you feel like the song is going in a different direction or however you want it to sound. So feel free to do that. I kept the intro, kept the verse, and added a pre-chorus and then a chorus instead of just going into the chorus. So we have all of our tracks from our last video that we did: our piano track, our first synth track, and then in the chorus we added another synth on top of that. And it's the same chord progression looping throughout the whole song, just with some different instruments. So now we're going to add some drums. There's a few ways to do this. The way that I like to do it is to create a MIDI track and have all the drums on one track. And I can do that in Ableton using a drum rack instrument. And this is the same in other digital audio workstations as well. Another way to do it is to have a separate audio track for each drum part, which may be easier for some people. If that's easier for you, feel free to do it that method. For this video, we're going to use a MIDI track, however, with a drum rack instrument, or in GarageBand, it may be a multi-sampler instrument that you can add different samples to. And I already picked out some sounds before starting the video, because it takes a little bit of time to go through and listen to sounds. In our last video, we talked about how to pick out sounds. A good way is just to listen to what you have, see what works, try out presets. So we're not going to do that for this video, but I will show you the sounds that I picked, which is a kick, snare, a clap, a closed hi-hat, an open hi-hat, and a snap. So we can add more sounds to this later if we're hearing something else to add on top of it, but this is just a good starting point for this pop song. So what I'm going to do is start in the chorus of the song, and I'm going to add a MIDI clip, and we're going to start adding drums onto our arrangement. So I'm going to start to draw in notes in our MIDI editor down at the bottom, and those notes are going to trigger each of those audio samples. So I'm going to do a standard top 4 on the floor kick. I'm going to do a snare on the 2 and 4 beats. I'm going to do 16th note hi-hats. And I can take that and just duplicate it across the 4 bars. Now we have a 4-bar loop of quarter note kicks, half note snares, and 16th note hi-hat. Let's see what that sounds like. Cool, so that sounds pretty good. So let's throw in some of our other samples to add a little bit of variation. We have a clap that we can use. I'm going to put that on the 4th beat of the 2nd bar and of the 4th bar as well. And I'm also going to add the open hi-hat. So I'm just going to loop this, and then we can change some stuff around to add the variation. Okay, that sounds good. So we have an open hi-hat in there to kind of have a different sound, and then a clap on top of our snare to give it a little bit different sound as well. So I think this sounds pretty good for our chorus section. So we're going to take this clip and just loop it throughout the chorus. And we can add more transitions and variation later. For the pre-chorus, I'm going to make another clip. And let's try just the kick in the pre-chorus. We'll just loop that throughout. So I started with the chorus because that's going to be our part with the most instruments, and then we can kind of work backwards and take some things out so that it can build into the chorus. I think I'm going to also add that hi-hat. So going back into our verse, let's try the hi-hat and snap. And we can loop that throughout. Going into our pre-chorus. Let's add the snap too in the pre-chorus. Let's double the snap. Cool, I think that sounds pretty good. So let's listen to the whole thing from the intro and see how it flows into the chorus. Okay, so a couple things I noticed. I think in the verse, the hi-hat is a little bit too heavy. I'm going to take out a little bit of that. And what we want to do is just add kind of a build from our beginning of our song to the biggest part of our song. And a great way to do that is with the drums and adding variation in the drums. So what I did there in the verse is change the rhythm up a little bit, which adds a nice variation, I think, between the sections. Our pre-chorus. And then our chorus. The other thing I'm going to do is just take out the drums in the last bar. Is a pretty common trick for pop songs, just to add a little bit more build before the chorus. And we can add some things in that empty space later if we want to. Actually, instead of the empty space, let's just take out the kick drum. Okay, so that sounds pretty good. Okay, so that sounds pretty good. Now that we've added drums to our song and learned a little bit about variation and transitions, in our next video, we're going to add bass, leads, and some more transitions and effects into our song.